So after watching and falling in love with all of the videos that I've seen on Facebook that the Dodo has put out about cats and dogs that have been rescued, I decided to put a little video together on my two pets, which both are rescue pets. This is my cat, and her name is Miss Peanut. And how I ended up getting Miss Peanut was a couple of years ago when I broke up with my ex-girlfriend Melissa. We had three cats together, and I got very, very close to those cats. Their names were Chester, Reverend Black, and Charlie. And if you know anything about me and know my love for animals, you know I get attached to them very easily. And when I broke up with Melissa, she ended up taking the cats with her, and I was quite heartbroken over it and rather depressed about it. And I had a friend of mine that I had met through Uber driving, and this person knew how much I loved cats. Well, what this person did for a living is she used to clean apartment buildings, like old abandoned apartment buildings and other buildings that were going to be restored or eventually torn down. And she was cleaning an apartment building over in Grimes one day, in Grimes, Iowa. And as they were cleaning the building, she went to go pick up what she thought was just a dirty white rag. And when she went to go pick up the dirty white rag, it meowed at her. And it happened to be Miss Peanut. And she called me on the phone and said, "Hey, I have this cat who's now walking." Miss Peanut's not really all that big into being on screen, I guess. And there goes the cat, which I'm going to talk about the dog next. I have a doggy as well, and she's not happy Miss Peanut's getting the airtime right now because Miss Ruby likes to hog the spotlight. But anyway, she called me up and said, "Hey, I have this cat, and she's got a lot of problems. I think she's only a kitten, or a half-grown kitten, but she has a lot of problems, and I'd like you to, if you want to adopt her, I know you miss your other cats, if you would like to adopt her, I think you'd be a really good daddy for her." So I went over and I looked at Miss Peanut, and she was filthy. I mean, absolutely just filthy dirty, and she's obviously tired of being on screen, so we got to follow her around here real quick so we can keep her on the camera. And Miss Peanut, who now wants some water and probably doesn't want me following her around anymore, she's going to go get some water now. Well, now, nope, she wants to be pet. That's another thing about Miss Peanut. She wants to be pet 24/7. If you sit down, the chances of her jumping into your lap and wanting you to do nothing but pet her. We're going to get to you, Miss Ruby, okay? We're going to get to you. But right now, we're doing a video on Miss Peanut. So anyway, when I first got Peanut, she was filthy dirty, and my friend, who actually had a really good job and made really good money, helped me take her to the vet. We got her all of her shots, and we I had to put this stuff in her ears every single night. She had terrible ear mites. Oh, she's telling me something. I know. That's the thing about Peanut. If she's low on food, she's very, very, very vocal about it. And the other thing you never want to do in front of the dog or the cat is give one a treat and not give the other one a treat, because if you do... I know, I gotta feed Ruby now too. I'm trying to make a video of my pets, thank you. So here's Miss Peanut, and I had to put this ear stuff in her ears every single night until we got rid of the ear mites. And I always thought I got her when she was half grown, but now I've had her for 3 years and she never grew any, so I kind of think she's a midget cat. She's very, very small for a cat, although she definitely has the attitude that she's big and tough. So this is one of my rescue animals here. This is Miss Peanut, one of the loves of my life. And now, for the ever so impatient Mrs. Ruby. This is Mrs. Ruby, one of my absolute best friends in life, and so is Miss Peanut. And Miss Ruby, as you can tell, she thinks every time Daddy's nearby, he has to give her a belly rub. Have to give Miss Ruby a belly rub. So now what we're going to do, since we fed the cat, is we now have to feed, and look how much of a mess our house is. We're not the best housekeepers, are we? So try not to let my mother or grandma see this, or I'm going to get my butt chewed later. But anyway, this is Mrs. Ruby, and she liked to follow Daddy around, and she's wondering, "What are you doing, Daddy?" Well, I'm trying my best, and I'm not left-handed, so I'm going to switch hands here real quick so I can scoop up her food. And the reason why we give the dog 2 water dishes is because the cat likes to drink out of the dog's water dish for some reason. I always want to make sure that Ruby has plenty of water. So now we're going to feed Ruby. So we really don't know all of Ruby's background story, and I really don't know all of Peanut's either, to be honest with you. But as far as well, Ruby is Ashley's dog, actually, even though if you ever meet us, you would think Ruby's my dog, because Ruby loves me more, according to Ashley. But anyway, the way Ruby came about is my girlfriend really, really wanted to have a dog, and she had an aunt that now lives in California that was living in the state of Kansas, and her aunt came across an ad on Craigslist about somebody that had a dog, and they were moving, and what they planned on doing was leaving a 50-pound bag of dog food and a gallon of water, and then just leaving. And Ashley's aunt read that and it's like, oh my god, you can't do that to a dog. So they went out there to this farm, which was, what, 3 or 4 hours away from their house? She drove 3 or 4 hours away from her house to go pick up this dog. And when they first found Ruby, she was a hairy mess of thorns and stains, and I can't think what you call those things that, yeah, spurs that stick to your body. And Ashley's aunt got her cleaned up, took her back home, and tried giving her a life on the farm that they lived on. But Ruby doesn't really like other animals. She definitely doesn't like other dogs very much. We've tried introducing her to other dogs over the past couple of years, and Ruby kind of reminds me of myself, because Ruby loves humans, doesn't really like other dogs, where I, on the other hand, love dogs and I really don't like other humans. So we definitely have that in common. When I first met Ruby, she didn't like me, and she was afraid of me, and she would growl and bark at me. And Ashley and I have determined, as we watch Ruby interact with people, Ruby just absolutely loves babies and little kids. And she likes women. She enjoys women. She really loves my mother. But then again, my mother is the type of person that, Mom, please don't. She doesn't need it. She doesn't need any more roast beef. She doesn't need any more pulled pork. Oh, Stephen, a little piece isn't going to hurt her. Which she's probably right. A little piece isn't going to hurt her. But then my mom ends up giving her 10 pieces by the time it's over. So by the time it's over, Ruby's had about as much roast beef or pulled pork as the rest of us have. But anyway, we do think that when Ruby was little, she was beaten. We do think that a large, tall man probably kicked her, probably hit her, because she really doesn't like big, tall men. She really gets very defensive and aggressive when she's around them. She used to be that way with me, but you can ask Ashley now. When I go into the bathroom, Ruby will sit outside and cry while I'm going. She likes to be around me. We've really bonded over the last couple of years. I take her on a lot of car rides. Oh, I shouldn't have said that word. She heard me, and it wasn't a good thing to say that. So next time I'll just spell it out. Carride. I hope I spelled that right. But anyway, these are my rescue animals. This is Mrs. Ruby here, and this is Mrs. Peanut over here. Both of them are taking after their dad and stuffing their faces right now. I do that a lot myself. And these are the two of my best friends and two of the loves of my life, Miss Ruby and Mrs. Peanut.